But with him turning heel this early in the year, there's no way in my eyes that he goes out a heel. At some point, it's going to click back into neutral. It's going to click back into what it's been his entire career, which is babyface John. Is there any possibility in your eyes with the rumors of a potential John Cena Farewell PLE in Boston, Massachusetts at the TD Garden that we get the rubber match, that John Cena, after doing whatever he's going to do as a heel in the early portion of this year, maybe into the summer, turns face and The Rock says, you're going to pay for that. And it's Cena versus Rock 3, the rubber match, as John Cena's final match in WWE.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be awesome. Honestly, I haven't really let my mind get to that. Just because, like, if I think about The Rock and thinking of matches like boxes for him to check, I've been thinking about obviously Cody Rhodes, and I've been thinking about Roman Reigns as those stories that he has to tell. John Cena has not been on my mind in terms of a Rock match for him coming back to do. But I mean, it would certainly make sense if you're going through, like, he's got to get a Randy Orton match in somewhere, I would think, this spring, summer, or fall before he hangs him up. CM Punk, I just mentioned that too. But one with The Rock where it's like a full, like the end of the story that they're telling right now, like we're at the beginning of it. If the end of the story is him going back to being a face and taking out The Rock, and again, it's going to depend to me on how they build out this faction, like who else is going to be brought in to be a part of it, and telling that story. But I love it. I love the idea of this coming full circle by the end of it and Cena being back to being a face, because I feel like even though I'm totally cool with him turning right now, and it was awesome to see this and I'm curious to see how this version plays out. At the end of the day, we all know him as being that baby face. I feel like that's the last impression that we should see.
Yeah, and it's crazy because coming into this farewell tour, your mind could take you on so many different directions of what is going to happen with John Cena. The fact that he turned heel opens up so many more possibilities, and I think I hadn't thought about Cena versus Rock simply because, well, we saw it. We saw it twice, and we saw it at WrestleMania. But for Cena's last match, there are some that say, well, he needs to utilize that opportunity to put over young talent, give them the ultimate bump. It's John Cena, and it's his last match. He cannot go down on his back. And in my eyes, being a heel is just as bad as going down on your back for an all-time great in John Cena. I just don't see a way that they're going to say, you know what, after all this time, he's going to be a bad guy as he walks off into the sunset after being the most unanimous good guy outside of maybe Hulk Hogan in the history of the industry. So I'd seen a Rock. Some people don't want to see it. I think that being the bookend of his career is something that, to me, I can't think of a better matchup.
Yeah, absolutely. As long as they, obviously, we don't know what their schedules are going to be like by that point. They're going to do a lot more dates, obviously, in the road to WrestleMania. What's the back end of the year look like from a date perspective for those two guys? I think that's going to be the big question for me. What I will say is, I just thought of this now. Hopefully, with him turning heel, that just eliminates the fact that we see a Logan Paul match for John Cena along this time of tour.
100%. I couldn't agree more, because when that was rumored for WrestleMania, I said, you know, I hadn't been penciling in John Cena with Cody. I thought, okay, that's a good match, but at the same time, I was like, I mean, Punk Cody makes a lot of sense, but then whenever I looked at it, and people were like, well, yeah, how about Logan Paul versus John Cena? I was like, in his last Mania, that's the worst case scenario. So I'm glad that we've gotten to this point where it went from that to now the best thing you could imagine in the first real matchup of the American Nightmare versus, I mean, we got to come up with a nickname for him, but heel Cena is the only thing I can think of right now.
Yeah, this feels like the first threat to the championship. Because it seems like so far Cody's run has just been like filler. And I feel like it was because we were all waiting for it to be The Rock to come back and challenge him, but now it's Cena. I was not necessarily expecting this to be the case, but this is the first time where it feels like the title really is in jeopardy for Cody.